Well, welcome one and all to the new and improved planetphotoshop.com. Make sure you bookmark this site, guys, because we have got a tremendous amount of awesome new content that's going to be coming your way. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy. But this week, what we're going to do is take this image, and we're going to make it seem as though the light that's coming through this window is harshly shining on the floor and just giving it a little bit more dramatic look. Because it's kind of bland, we're going to make it a little more exciting, or a little more dramatic. So, first thing I need to do is over here in my toolbox, I need to get my magic wand tool, which is already selected, and I'll make sure our tolerance is set fairly high. The default setting actually is 32, but I'm going to go ahead and leave mine here at 35. And I'm going to come down in here into my layer, just click inside the area of this window here, and I'm going to hold down my shift key and click and select the other areas. And that way we get all of the windows selected. And with it all selected, I'm going to hit my Command or Control J, copies that area to its own layer. You can see right there. And we're going to go under Edit to Transform, and it just goes off screen, but trust me, it says Flip Vertical right here at the bottom. And it flips it vertical there. And I'm going to go ahead and reactivate this as a selection. Hold down my Command or Control key, and click on the layer icon there. And there it has loaded it. And we're going to go under Edit to copy. I want to copy this to the clipboard because we're going to bring it into another window later on, here in a minute. So with that copied, I'm going to deselect and actually turn off that layer. I'm going to turn on the original layer, and we're also going to create a new layer altogether, and this is where we're going to apply that effect onto this new empty layer. So the next thing I need to do is go under Filter to Vanishing Point. That's right, we're going to use the vanishing point. Now, for those of you who have never used it, or just never really had a need for it, here is an actual use for it. The vanishing point basically allows you to draw perspective grids and to edit your image based on those grids. You can actually do cloning in perspective. You can actually bring graphics in and manipulate them in perspective, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. In this window, making sure I've got my grid tool selected, I'm going to draw a perspective grid based on the plane of the floor here. So I'm going to start in this corner right over here. I'm going to click, and you can see I'm getting a guide here. It basically helps me, draw my perspective grid. So I'm going to go down here. I'm just following the lines of where the floor meets the wall here. Go off document just a little bit there. Click, and we're going to go over here and do the same thing. We're just following that area of the floor, and there's our grid. Now, because I copied that area to the clipboard, I'm actually going to paste it into this window here by hitting my Command or Control V. And there it is right there. And if I drag it around anywhere in this window, you can see it doesn't really do anything. It just repositions it. But if I drag it into my grid, it assumes perspective that grid has taken on. So I'm just going to position this right about where the light would be shining onto the floor there. I'm going to bring up my free transform, Command or Control T, and actually widen this, because the perspective we're going to be looking at this, that actually would be bigger than the window itself. So just kind of bring that out just a little bit there, and that looks pretty good. So once I've got it sized and the perspective looks good, I'm going to hit OK, and there it is on the floor. It's not quite there yet. All I need to do now is basically change the blending mode to overlay, because it's on its own layer. We want to make sure that we're doing it on its own layer, otherwise we wouldn't be able to change that like that. So there it is. You can actually see it's blending into the floor just a little bit. I'm going to make it a little bit less harsh by dropping the opacity down to about 80%, and that pretty much does it. You can see we've got pretty accurate perspective of that light shining right in there to the floor, and we just did that in just a few short steps, and we actually used it using the vanishing point. So I encourage you to give it a try, and we'll have some fun with it. We'll see you next time.